Hi, it's Professor Gould, and I want to show you this sectioned skull to kind of help you orient what we've learned so far and how things relate to each other. So this is a mid-sagittal section. So they've cut right along the, right in the middle of the frontal bone and in the middle of the occipital bone back here, and right along the nasal septum, which is what this is here. See how this is just such thin bone, and that's why on most of our real skulls, these bones are broken because they're just so very, very thin. So this is the vomer here, okay, making that bottom part of the nasal septum. This up here is the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone, making that superior part of the nasal septum. And then the front of the nasal septum here would be cartilage, and that's why we don't see it, because this is all bone. They've drawn in the olfactory neurons there, so we can see those olfactory neurons would come through that cribriform plate right there into the nasal bone. And we can also see that crista galli right there, that little process on the ethmoid bone that sticks up through a hole in the frontal bone. Now, the other thing they've done here is by sectioning this bone, we can see all of these sinuses. So all of these pockets within the bone, these are your sinuses. They're actually pockets inside the bone, but they're also connected to the nasal cavity. So they're little openings from all of these, usually through this ethmoid bone, which has its own sinuses. Into these pockets. These help to slow down the air as it moves through your skull, warm it up and humidify it. And we really normally don't care about them until we have a cold and we get a sinus infection, and then those hurt. What else can we see? We can see here they've sectioned between the maxilla. So you can see this alveolar process here where the teeth are. You can see nerves that come into the mouth here. And this is, of course, the palatine plate or palatine process of the maxilla and the horizontal process of the palatine bone. Then the palatine bone also extends up here. We can also see, and I really like this one because they've colored the holes based on whether there's an artery, a vein, or a nerve that goes through. So the blue one, of course, is the jugular foramen, and then anterior to that, the carotid canal. Foramen ovale is orange for nerves, foramen spinosum, red for artery, foramen lacerum, red for arteries. There's our condylar canal and half of the foramen magnum. And then here we can see the venous sinuses for the, remember those are the pockets in the dura mater. So this is the transverse sinus here. And then we can see where the carotid artery comes in here and starts to make that circle of Willis or cerebral circle. So that is our sectioned skull. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you was this side. This is so cool. Ooh, focus please. There we go. Okay. So this, they've sectioned off the external part of the ear here. So we can see that cavity inside. We can also see those little indentations where the acoustic or the auditory ossicles are. Those are the little ear bones. Isn't that cool? Okay. So that is your sectioned skull.